Hi, I'm so excited to film this video because this is exactly the video that I wish I would have seen when I was lost with no passion. So this video will be uniquely for you if you're visionary and ambitious. So if you feel like you have this high potential that you can achieve, and you feel like if you don't achieve that potential, it would go to waste, this video is for you. And I'm here to confirm that if you don't reach that potential, it will go to waste. The moment that you create this version of yourself that you can achieve, you create this gap between who you are now and who you can be, and you make it as real as it gets. So that means that if you don't reach that potential, you will waste that. Because once you see that version of yourself that you can be, you cannot unsee it. You know it's there. And the only thing that stands between you and that version is you. Is your work, is your dedication. So I know how that feels because I've always been someone that thought I had so much potential, but I felt so lost and I was like, how do I even get there? How do I find my passion? How can I have purpose and a mission? I'm gonna help you in this video figure all that out. But first, I want you to start thinking about this one truth, one thing that you have to accept. And that's something that I've realized much later on, after a lot of suffering, is that you have to accept that you'll be in pain. Accept that you will be in pain. You're either going to be in pain by doing the self-discipline every single day to be that version of yourself, or you're going to be in pain if you don't do anything about it because it will eat you alive. You will always think, what if? What if I put in the work? What if I got out of my comfort zone? What if I said yes or no to these things? If you think what if, that pain, I promise you, is so much bigger than the self-discipline. So might as well put in the work. You'll be in pain regardless. And the consequence of you not doing nothing is actually much bigger pain than you think. Because not only do you hurt yourself and your soul and your authentic self and that greater version of yourself that has never actualized, not only are you hurting that version of yourself, but you're hurting everyone else around you that you could have positively impacted. All the people that you could have helped, supported, shared your knowledge with, and just give yourself the love, the joy that they also deserve, you would waste that. They would not feel that because you have chosen to stay at a lower vibrancy. So I hope you agree that you will be in pain regardless. So might as well choose the pain of self-discipline that will give you a brighter future than the pain of regret that will carry you until you die. Okay? Don't want to make this look so dark, but this is a reality. And once I accepted that life will just be painful and so much suffering, every time I did and put in the work, and some days it just felt super easy and some days it went with the flow and I was like, oh, this is not as bad as I thought. I felt grateful because I'm like, oh my God, I thought this was supposed to be really hard, and it's not as hard as you think. You just got to get started. There's something I know about you. I know that you have a gift because already the fact that you know that you have a potential, it makes you self-aware. A lot of people never ask themselves deeper questions, don't really ask themselves what they want or what they could be, and they get kind of stuck in the matrix. You're already different because you feel like you have a deeper purpose, and that's really good. I encourage you to find people like you. I encourage you to consume content like mine and people on self-improvement, people that promote self-development, because you feel that way for a reason. You are meant for more. Okay, I confirm this to you. It's not delusional. It's the reality. It's true. I want you to think about this. Not because something feels hard means it's something you should avoid. And the reason why we feel that way when things are hard and scary, we feel like, oh my God, we should not go after that, is because we live in a world where everything is so comfortable. The cars that we have, the phones that we have, the chair that I'm sitting in, the grocery stores, everything around us is made for us to feel comfortable and not having to worry about anything. So when you feel like it's uncomfortable to not know your passion or not know how to reach your potential, that's normal. It's because we've been taught that things are supposed to be comfortable, but Things are not supposed to be comfortable. Think about history. We had to do uncomfortable things to evolve. It's just like now everybody stays stagnant and average because that's what's been promoted around us. But you have a choice. And I know you want to make the choice to be above average. You want to be exceptional. So you're going to have to do uncomfortable things. So because it feels hard right now, just embrace that. That's something that I want you to realize. People that have been successful have done hard things. People that are successful like Steve Jobs, Oprah, or I said that weird, Oprah, or Mark Zuckerberg, they had to do things extremely uncomfortably. They had to stay up really late at night. They had to go through a lot of shame from people or judgment from others and self-doubt. All these things, they have gone through a lot of hard things to be successful. Like that's normal and that's part of the journey. So you already starting and feeling a little bit scared is a good sign. It's a great sign. Means that it's something that you should pursue. If you're still listening to this video right now, let's fucking go. I'm hyped. But I'm going to make an assumption about you. I'm going to assume that deep down, you want to be influential. You want to be impactful. You want to be powerful. And when I say powerful, it's not in a sadistic way. It's in a way where you want to create good and positive change. But the problem is that you have no passion. And it's hard to go after something or have an impact if you don't feel passionate about it. You don't know where to start, basically. And I know what that feels like because I have been that person. For the longest time, and now in retrospect, that's how I realized that, I've always wanted to be influential. And I knew that before influencers were a thing, like it was before social media. And I remember I was home and it was like a project we had to do for school, and they asked you, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, I was thinking about predicting weather storms or being a cook or whatever. I had so many weird ideas, but nothing felt really right until I had this aha moment where I told my dad, I just know that I want to be influential. It was a weird realization I had as a kid. And then my dad has always pushed me to go into communication as a major in college. But I thought it wouldn't be as valuable. So I said, no, I want to go to pre-med and maybe go to med school. And my dad was like, don't go to med school, go into communication. It's so weird because I feel like usually parents tell you the opposite, like don't do comms and do pre-med. But I think that my dad deep down knew that me being able to communicate and have a message was some sort of purpose that I had for myself. But that doesn't solve the what. What is my influence? How am I going to promote change? So I went to college, I play soccer, and I got drafted to be a professional athlete. So currently I am a pro athlete, but I do not feel passionate about my sport. For some reason, I felt like playing my sport feels a little bit selfish. It feels like it's really about my own performance and pushing myself. So it doesn't feel as authentic, as how I would like it to be. So I had to work outside of my sport to discover who I was outside of being an athlete. Because yes, I want to influence children to like reach their dreams if they want to, but I will never promote kids to only be an athlete. I think the best message to give is to be more than your sport, because you are more than an athlete. You are more than your job. You are more than your roles. You're more than a girlfriend. You're more than a daughter. You're more than a student. You are more than all of that. Those are just titles that you give to yourself, but they are not who you are. So if anything, that's the message I want to give. But there is a certain type of person that I really want to help, and that's not who I was reaching as a professional athlete. So then I got to work and I got into consuming educational content. I became a student of life. I cut out a lot of people out of my life, people that didn't really elevate me or push me to like think differently. I kept a journal where I put all of my thoughts in there and questions and all that. But all the time I kept going back to, I have no passion. Here's where it all clicked. I got eliminated on this misconception. Passions are formed. They're not found. It's not like you have a mystery box inside of you that you need to unlock and then suddenly you'll find your passion. You have to go out and create your passion. And the way to go and create your passion, you have to stop thinking about your passion, but you have to think differently. You have to think about your pain. This is the missing piece. You have to think about what pains you. Not what makes you feel passionate, but what deeply pains you. I used to focus on the wrong thing. I used to focus on what's my purpose, what's the career I want to have, the role I want to fulfill, the lifestyle I want, or like what's the opportunity I want to attract. What is it that I'm going to feel motivated to do every single day? The answer lies in pain. You have to be focused and crystal clear about what pains you, because once you know what really, really is making you suffer, you will do everything to avoid that, to heal that, to overcome that, and use it as your fuel to self-discipline. You want to identify the pain so you can use it as power. You don't want to numb it. You don't want to sober it up. You don't want to disregard it and ignore it. You want to use it as energy. That's going to be a passion in itself. And I remember the word passion actually means suffering. There is some suffering and passion. So look at what actually pains you. Start there. That is the best starting point you can start at. I started looking at my past of what pained me. So I felt like I was never enough. I always felt like I was stupid. I always felt like I couldn't really connect with girls, like friendships. I had pain related to my divorce from my parents. I had pain being the only girl in between my siblings. There was a lot of pain that I associated with, that I carried, that I decided to not think about. But when I started to think about it, there was something that reignited inside of me. And there are some specific things in my life that makes me so angry because of how much it hurt me, that I'm going to use that to bring me to my best version. I'm going to use that as my fuel to work on myself, to be successful, to become that version that I've always dreamt to be. So I want you to start thinking about your pain and use it to your benefit. And there's a quote I want to read for you. Heroes and villains all have the same backstory. The difference is what they choose to do about it. Villains will say, "The world hurt me and I'll hurt it back." The hero says, "The world hurt me. I'm not going to let it hurt anybody else." Heroes use pain. Villains are used by pain. See, you can be impactful and influential and powerful if you learn to heal that pain, to overcome that pain, to be able to utilize that pain and teach someone else that has gone through the same pain and help them. This is how you can actually fulfill your potential, because that is what will feel the most authentic to you. Being the most authentic self is the most powerful thing you can do to yourself. And what is more authentic than looking at your past and thinking of all the things that have hurt you? And I know it sounds really dark and hard, but we've already established that this journey is painful and that things are uncomfortable. If you want to have something bigger and better for yourself, you're going to have to go through discomfort. So we're going to just accept that, and we're going to go on to this journey where it's going to be painful. So the rest of the video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step of what I've done to feel passionate about the trajectory I'm on and to become the influential leader that you want to be. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start your self-development journey. Once you find out which problem you have, the biggest thing that is holding you back in your life, your limiting beliefs or your traumas or what hurt you, figure out what that is and dedicate your life to heal that. I don't want that pain to hold you back. So whatever you tell yourself, like you're not good enough or you're stupid or you suck at relationships, get better at that. That is your self-development journey, is you fixing yourself. So for me, I told you, I felt stupid. I felt like I wasn't intelligent because I thought that if you were intelligent, you would naturally get good grades at school. That was my mentality. And I carried that along with me because school didn't come easy to me. And if I wanted to have good grades, I had to put in the work. And I thought that that was not normal. So what did I do? When I started my self-development journey, I just started consuming good educational content. I started reading good books, nonfiction books, self-help books. I would read studies. I would invest in podcasts that would educate me, scientific podcasts. I would listen to long-form content. I wouldn't just scroll on TikTok and just get my knowledge from there because that is just frying your brain. I cut out the people in my life that did not feel good about myself and that did not promote intelligence in my life. So I just made my whole life revolve around fixing my problems. And as much as it is painful to be on that self-discipline, to heal yourself and develop yourself, you're going to realize you're going to feel good the moment you start taking action. What's hard is like the moment before you take action, but once you do it, you realize that you are making progress, you are healing, you are getting better. But right now it's just painful because you know where you want to go and you're not doing the thing that will get you where you want to go. One thing that really has helped me to stay consistent and disciplined is to create this structure that I would follow every single day. I would write out, let's say from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., morning routine, 7 to 7:30, brush teeth, make bed and dress, 7:30 to 8, meditate, whatever. I would just have a full daily, step-by-step, every hour by hour, detailed of what I would do at that time. Did I follow it perfectly? Fuck no. I would always mess up. But if I followed 80% of it, that would have been 10 times more things I would have done in a day that if I wouldn't have done it, if I wouldn't have had that schedule and followed through, I would have probably done 2% of it. When you have flexibility and choices, it makes it so much harder to make the right ones. But if you create this strict schedule and you try to follow it as closely as possible, you will make so much more progress and you won't have to waste energy thinking about what you should do because you just look at the timetable and you just follow what you've planned for yourself, what you know that the best version of yourself would do, instead of having decision fatigue or having no willpower, or let's say it's after work or you had a shitty day or you ate junk food and you have like low decision-making ability. You just follow through, you just do the work, you just look at that schedule and you do whatever you've written down. That will make you stay consistent and disciplined and just make progress. There are some non-negotiables that you need to put in your schedule. I don't care what you want out of life. You need to have better sleep, you need to eat nourishing foods, and you need to work out. Those are the 3 things that we keep saying over and over again, but it's crazy how most people don't even have the 3 of them checked out. And then they wonder why they don't have the focus or the energy or the motivation to do anything. Well, you will get motivation if you have those 3 things done already. Don't overthink it, just do it, okay? I sound like a Nike commercial. So the next thing you want to think about is you also want to block times in your day where you just commit to learning. Just learn the problems you have. So start off by listing all the problems that you have. And I promise you, it sounds maybe depressing to write down all of your problems, but it's going to feel so much better once you have them on paper than all in your head or just throughout your body, just making you feel so shitty. If you have them written down, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is just a math problem where you have a problem and you can just figure out the equation to solve the problem. It's not that serious, you know? It's really just things that are holding you back, and just treat yourself as an experiment. Detach yourself from your problems because they really are not who you are. They're just things that are holding you back. And by you tackling your problems or your pains, you will learn that those are actually your fuel. Those are things that make you better, and you will heal and you will be evolved, and you will also walk around with a higher vibrancy because those things won't hold you back anymore. So after that, once you list out your problems, just go one by one and try to heal that. And you're like, oh, well, how do I heal that? Just Google it. Literally, use your computer, your phone, your tablet, whatever. Go on Google and write down how to XYZ, how to heal XYZ, and just commit. Try that. See if it actually helps you. See what works for you. Adjust. But don't try something one time and if it doesn't work, quit. You have to commit. It's a thing that you will do every single day. Some things will be easier to heal than others. Some things you will heal and you'll see that it will heal a bunch of other problems. But you have to commit to learning. You will not just automatically heal by just letting time pass. That will always be an unhealed wound if you just let time heal. You heal by actually putting in the work and becoming wiser. And you can accelerate that process by you putting in the time, the effort to actually heal. Now, every time you learn something, always think in the back of your mind, how can I teach this to someone? Because remember, you want to be influential and you want to impact people. So you have to be able to teach others how you heal or how you've learned something or what you've learned. So every time you have something that resonates with you, try to tell someone about it. Try to call your parents or your best friend or your partner. Just tell them something, because you will remember the more you recall it, the more you repeat it, the more you talk about it. That's how it would actually heal. So that's something that I think is not said enough. People oftentimes think that once they find the solution, it's healed. You have to do it all over and over and over again to actually make it part of who you are. You want to build that proof with yourself that you are healed. If you hear it once, it makes sense, but then it kind of vanishes away. You have to constantly expose yourself to what you're learning and how it's healing you. So once you commit to this, you commit to this schedule, remember, you're going to fail. You're not going to do it perfectly. You're not going to follow everything perfectly. You're not always going to feel like you're making progress, but just trust that you will. Just try every single day, because you're here right now and you want to go there. And this is not going to be linear. You're going to go up and then you're going to go down and then 2 steps up and then you're going to go back down and then eventually you're going to get there. And then once you're there, you're going to have a new bar for yourself. But that's okay. That's amazing. We're going to keep evolving because that's what we're meant to be. You can be like everybody else and not try to evolve, and you'll just have an average life. And that's okay if that's what you want. But you're here because you want something different for yourself. So you're going to have to do things differently. So you have to keep track of everything that you learn. Because eventually, when you're going to start putting yourself out there, you want to have your ideas in some sort of place. I have my notes on my phone that has tons of folders for different aspects of my life, of what I've learned, of ideas or aha moments, revelations, pains that I have, things that I notice, how I feel. I have so many notes. And how do you think I make my videos? I literally go through my notes and I think about something that I felt at some point, and then I elaborate on that, or I look at things that I've said in the past and I see my growth. And if I have an issue, I remember, oh, I went through this before. What happened then? I go in those notes and I'm like, this is how I healed. You need to keep track of everything. You need to organize your life, because eventually the next step is you're going to have to build your personal brand. Because once you learn how you've healed part of you, and you're not going to be 100% healed when you start building your personal brand. You just have to be somewhat healed where you have something to teach. And when you build your personal brand, all you have to do is speak to that youngest version of yourself, that millions of people out there are just like that youngest version of yourself, and tell them what you've learned. And slowly, that will be how you'll become an impactful leader. What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. I have been that person that had no passion, no sense of direction, didn't know how I would self-actualize. And I found out that with everything that I've done, it took me a long time, but everything that I've done, I found out that this is how I've gotten to where I am today. I looked at my pains. I looked at my insecurities. I looked at things that were holding me back, some childhood trauma. I've learned to heal those. I've learned to overcome them. I've learned to fuel them for getting me to get going every single day and not becoming a lower vibrancy person. And now I am teaching you how to become that next level where I've become. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so special because I'm at next level, but everyone has had some sort of pain, and we're all at a different level in different areas of our life, and we all have something to teach each other. And this is what I'm teaching you. I've been there. So it's really easy. Identify your pain, learn to heal that pain, track down how it happened, and now start building your personal brand. And I'm saying online and in person. So in person is basically just the people around you. You want to be very open about what you are learning and who you are and that newest version of yourself, because you want to build your reputation around other people. You don't want them to remember you as a lower version of yourself. You want them to see you as the higher version that you see yourself. And you have to show up in public as that person. You know what I'm saying? So don't shy away at your friends of the growth that you're making. If your friends are true friends, they're going to support you and they're going to elevate with you. And if you are a higher version of yourself and you tell them what you learned and you tell them things that you've discovered that are really cool, that are helpful and impactful, and they make fun of you or they judge you or they don't support you, they're not your friends. Just let them go, because they're just not meant to be on that path that you're on right now. You're meant to attract like-minded people, and they're just not that person. They want to stay average. And that's okay. That was maybe a past chapter of your life, and you have to let that go. So when you're in public, just don't be ashamed to be that version of yourself. But the hardest part is now building your personal brand online. I know this is hard. It is very difficult, but it is so important that if you want to make an impact, you want to have leverage, you need to tell the world who you are and how you can help others. You will be rewarded by how good you are at solving a problem. And you are so close to your problems right now that when you heal yourself or you figure out a solution, you will be right there. You will be a step ahead, and you will be able to help all those people that have had the problem that you just solved. And people will want to listen to you because there's a lot of people that are in pain. Everyone wants to solve their pain. There's no way around being influential by not using social media, because if you don't use social media, you're going to just take tons of L's and be thousands of steps behind of all your competitors, of all the people that are trying to do what you're trying to do. And you're not going to thrive if you put yourself in last place to start. So get on the same level as everyone else and put yourself out there. Think about this. Your social media is not for your friends. Your social media is not for your friends. It's for the youngest version of you. What would they have liked to see online? And give that to them. That will feel authentic. People are like, oh, I don't like social media. It makes me cringe. It's because you're trying to produce content for your friends and not for a bigger cause, or not for the youngest version of yourself. It's not authentic. That's why it feels cringe. But if you post something that's actually going to help the youngest version of yourself, there is no way that that can harm anyone, because you're doing good. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable person to start posting things on social media. All you need to do is be one step ahead of the person you're trying to help. That's it. I don't know if you've watched the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, I think. Yeah. He is like pretending to be like all these people, like as a fraud. For example, he pretended he was a lawyer, a doctor. I don't really remember the roles, but at some point he pretended to be a teacher at this really reputable school. And he was able to teach like a whole semester to these students, even though he had no background in sociology or whatever class he was teaching. And then in the movie, they were like, how did you teach the kids? Like, you literally don't know anything about sociology. And he said, all I had to do was read a chapter ahead of time. So all you have to do is the same thing. Just be one step ahead of whoever you're trying to teach. And then that way that you will consistently self-develop, because you're always trying to like evolve, and you're always going to teach someone else to get better, but you will always be a step ahead. And then it kind of goes like this. Whoopsie. It kind of goes like this, where you'll teach and they'll come here, you'll teach, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to build your personal brand, you just have to know your audience in and out, the person you're trying to help, know their pains, their problems, and their desires. And that will be easy because it's the youngest version of yourself. It's not someone that you have to make up, or it's not a customer that you're trying to attract that you have no relation to. It's literally younger you. How can you help younger you? What would younger you want to see? So just think about that. And then people feel energized once they feel seen and understood. So if you're still listening to me right now, you probably feel that way right now. You probably feel that excitement, that optimism, that inspiration. I'm giving you that because I get you. I get where you're coming from. And it feels so good when you feel understood. When you post content, just point out the problem and how you understand what the problem is. So you're going to tell a little bit about your story, and then you're going to give a solution to that problem. And by being authentic and truthful, you will build a connection with them and they will want more. And then you just got to repeat. And then you're going to keep developing, and you're going to keep helping, and you're going to keep teaching, and you're going to keep building a community. That's what I'm doing here right now on YouTube. I'm building a little bit every single day. It's not a huge growth, but it's enough to show me that it's working, and it's going to keep working, and it's going to keep going, and I'm going to keep building momentum. Slowly and steadily, you will build an audience, and that audience is exactly who you were meant to help. Just know that when you're on your self-development journey, you're going to discover so many things that you did not know that you loved. Today, I am so passionate about so many things. I love entrepreneurship. I love philosophy. I love quantum physics. I love learning about relationships. I love spirituality. There are so many things that get me excited. I just became passionate about learning. And I created that passion by putting in the work every single day to learn. I became passionate about learning by forcing myself to learn every single day. That's what I mean when passions are created. They're not found. So don't give up because this journey is difficult, because it's exactly how it's supposed to feel. And if you want to have different results in a different life than most people, you're going to have to do things differently. You're going to have to do what's uncomfortable. Everybody that stays average stays in their comfort zone. So be willing to get out of it, to face your traumas and your pain, to commit to a schedule every day to heal those, to write everything down, and eventually go online, go to the world and show them your gift. Show them how you've healed, show them the solutions, and help heal the world. Together, me and you, we will become influential leaders, and we will make the world a better place, and we will teach others to also be able to lead their life. So you start leading your life so you can lead others. That's how it goes. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you so much. Thank you for listening until the end, and I will see you very soon in a new video this week. Mwah.